came out and speak out against the pedophile ring within the PNM. And every time it came to the front burner, it was shut down. My question is why? She was not a UNC candidate. She was a PNM candidate. And that doctor, that Guardian report is there. But what happened? That was a serious thing then, and it's still a serious thing now. But what happened when that PNM candidate brought to the forefront this kind of behavior? I am sorry today that people let me restructure this, Jeffrey. I am sorry today, ladies and gentlemen, that the older heads in the PNM, some of them, they are not around where I could go and ask some questions, Jeffrey. I am very much sorry that I cannot go to ask some questions with these older heads who will have information, about the behavior of certain people within the party. Jeffrey, you from Library.
Yeah, I'm from Library.
I from Library. And this is not new to our ears, Jeffrey.
No, it's new to ears.
This is not new to our ears. But as everything else, and as everybody else, we always want to say, bring the facts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now the facts come out. Now the facts come out. I want to ask Keith Rowley what he intends to do with the facts that came out from this report. You see, let me tell you how games are played. I noticed that the conman, that the liar, that the pedophile himself pelt out to the public domain this 1997 task force report. That is what that pedophile did. Pelt it out. But I am saying today, I want to ask the Prime Minister why he sit down on the Jones report for over 5 months. When that report showed blatantly that abuse is rampant and even murder of our children in these homes where magistrate would send these children, how come he and his minister, how come she who speaks about cry, how come you folks could sit down on a serious report where our children have to face the agony and the brutalization of high-ranking officials in this country, people from the judiciary, people from the magistracy, people from the government, people from the business sector? How come that this report can be sitting while our children remain vulnerable to the savage, brutal attack of these animals that we call human beings? How come? That is what I'm trying to find out. Somebody tell me how come. So they pelt out this talk about the UNC in do nothing. But they won't tell you where the Children Authority came from. They wouldn't tell you that. You see, they would not tell you, Jeffrey, that in 1999, that the UNC brought about the Children's Authority Bill. They will not tell you that the UNC, another piece of legislation, was the Children Amendment Bill 1999. They would not tell you about the miscellaneous provisions, Child Bill 1999. They would not tell you, Jeffrey, the Children Community Resident Foster Home and Nursery Bill. All these pieces of legislation that came to the Parliament throughout the tenure of the UNC. They would not tell you that Kamla Prasad Bisesa went back and do the necessary amendment. And today we have a Children's Authority that keep crying out to the government for funding, that the Children's Authority is underfunded, it is understaffed. But you know why it is underfunded and understaffed? Because this government want this brutal savage act to continue upon the children, simply because there is high officials within the PNM, high officials within the judiciary, high officials within the magistracy, high officials within the business sector, high officials that continue to perpetrate these acts, this brutal, gruesome act on our children, while the government sits on that report for over 5 months, allowing our children to be brutalized, to be raped, and to be murdered. And today, people still support that. People still support that. They sit on this serious report that shows without a shadow of a doubt what is happening to the future of this country. And yet, to the end of the day, people in the public still support that distraction by Keith Rowley. That distraction that Keith Rowley continues to distract this society, while this society is being crime-ridden, while this society is being brutalized, while the people of this country cannot even provide basic commodities, basic food, clothes, and shelter. They still support Keith Rowley and his distraction tactics. Oh, how I have to guard my mouth here this evening. Jeffrey, how I have to protect my mouth this evening. Because what I want to say, Jeffrey, I know pre-action protocols will be coming left, right, and center by these animals. I remember the Law Association had serious problems with the Chief Justice. Trinidad, all remember that?
That is true.
I also remember that when it reached before the Prime Minister, who had the say whether to set up a tribunal to do that type of investigation that the Law Association were calling for, today we are still waiting for the Prime Minister to do his job. Where am I going? Hold up, people. Don't feel like it could get me to say what I want to say. No? We still waiting. No tribunal. But that remind me of the UNC. It reminds me that the UNC went to the parliament and make moves to get a tribunal set up against the president who misbehaved in public office. And yet the PNM shoot it down together with the independent PNM senators. Where am I going, Victor Roberts? Hold on, people, hold on. Hold on. I want to make it as clear. So when you put 1 and 1, you could get 2. And when you put them side by side, you could also get 11. The Prime Minister shoot down the UNC attempt for that tribunal. All right? So we have the Chief Justice and we have the President. Now, this is 2 critical offices in this country. The Chief Justice and the Presidency. Those 2 offices, they are 2 critical offices in this country. These offices, they are so critical that these both offices could allow the Constitution to be trampled upon.
All right.
And we had an experience of such.
All right.
Trampled upon. Wipe the foot on it. And then a couple months after, take it back up to govern again. All right. I would have loved to ask people like Ken Valley deceased. I would have loved to ask people like Ken Valley deceased what he think about the behavior of these 2 offices. I would have loved to ask people like Martin Joseph what he think about people in retract that. I would have liked to ask Martin Joseph what he think about the behavior of these 2 offices. And today, I am asking John Jeremy what he think about the behavior of these 2 offices. So, I would have loved to ask Ken Valley, deceased. I would have loved to ask Martin Joseph, deceased. And I'm also asking now John Jeremy what is his thoughts on the behavior of these 2 offices. If I could only ask John Donaldson, if I could only ask John Donaldson what he think about the behavior of these 2 offices, I would have gone to their doorstep and asked what they think about the behavior of these 2 offices. But I know someone else who I can ask.
Who is that?
I want to ask Nolan Barrow what he think about the behavior of these 2 officers. I want to ask him because he originates from on my side, down south. So I would like to ask him what he think. Because We have a president who pull back a list which the constitution give her no authority to do. We have a chief justice where the prime minister had the authority to initiate that tribunal, which he refused to. So I would like to ask these individuals what they think about these offices. So arresting that day now, Jeffrey. Arresting that day. And I'm going back to my original point. Akil Chambers and the brutalization of Akil Chambers.
In the lesser men we are called, I realize there was certain men you're asking.
Well, yes, I asking people who I believe have experience in government, in law.
All right.
I am asking people who I believe have experience in government and experience in law. What they think about those two offices. But I'm coming back now to the original point that I was on, the brutalization of Akil Chambers. I'm coming back to that, the brutalization of our children. You see, it have other people that I could try to ask in relation to this story. But the men that are asked before, that is in connection with the behavior of the two offices. One, where the Law Association had serious issues, and two, where we, the citizens of this country, have serious issues with the behavior of the president.
All right.
So that is for that. But I'm coming back now to the original brutalization of our young people in this country. And this is something that we will continue with after the break. So we go to the break now. And when I come back, I'm going to open the phone lines for just a little bit. So the number to call after the ads finish, if you're paying attention, you will see when the ads done. The number to call on this subject is 218-7762. 218-7762. We go for the break. We'll be coming back.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Greeting in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him, praise Him.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Fab India Expo at the White Tent opposite Medford gas station, Shogunas, will be closing on Monday, May 23rd. Check out our unique bridal collection or even dresses to attend the wedding, handicrafts, footwear, jewelry, furniture, and so much more. All in one store. Perfect place for Mother's Day shopping and outing. Enjoy delicious authentic Indian food at Tandoori King, Star Hakka, and Dosa Diner. Newly opened Bombay Chaat, Pani Puri, and lots more. Fab India Expo opposite the Medford gas station, Shogunas. Check us out. We're open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
La Penca and Bees Hi-Fi presents Return to Real Rock Sunday, 22nd May, time 5 p.m. Featuring the Anarchists, Code Black, and Life Force, together with Bees Hi-Fi. We gonna rock. Come on down to La Penca, Sunday, May 22nd, 5 p.m. Tickets only $50. For tickets, please call Bees 779-1663, Code Black 359-1843, Anarchist 385-4315, or La Penca 373-3453. Return to Real Rock.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Blackrock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Blackrock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. I know that this topic is a serious topic. Very serious topic. So we will open the phone lines 218-7762. Open the phone lines for just a little bit. And coming back to the story here. I think we phone offline. Coming back to the story here. Right, so the lines are open. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome.
Well, good night, Victor. Good night, Jeffrey. Good night, Kokiri, and all the other listeners. About the matter concerning Akil Chambers. It's a sensitive matter, and it is a young, innocent person that was involved and became the victim of perpetrators. I want to say that after the birthday party, who it is went in that property and take up Akil Chambers when he was dead already and throw it in the swimming pool to me. Because when I know the waters very well, I a swimmer. When somebody dies from drowning, they don't be in a position. What happened to Akil Chambers? Pressure, sexual pressure was applied on Akil Chambers. It's bothering me. Akil Chambers. And the way that pressure and hurt and pain was, he could have hardly moved. He lied down over the overnight. And in that moment, when he died, he froze. Because when somebody dies in drowning, they don't die in a position like that. And when they see Akil Chambers reported home, they went to find out what happened, but he was frozen already. And the only way they could have buried Akil Chambers, but the coffin, they had to break his foot and with 2 knees so he could straighten out any hands. I thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, caller. Well. 218-7762. We'll open the lines a little bit. Make your calls now. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Victor and Jeffrey, right?
Yes, good night.
Talking about the little boy that's young, right? That run away from home.
Pardon?
Hello?
Like we lost that one. Welcome, caller. Caller your radio. Load on your radio, please.
Load on your radio, caller.
Yeah, good night, Brother Victor and
yes,
Corky and Jeffrey.
Yeah, good night.
Jeffrey. Yeah, sorry about the radio there because
make your point quickly.
Man. What really happened there? I mean, if they have evidence, right? According to the investigation that lead to some people, why no one wasn't arrested?
Right. When we come back, we're going to talk about that. Very good, important question.
Yeah, because look, it's over 24 years now.
Monday will make it 24 years.
All right, that is ridiculous. Somebody had to be brought to justice a long time ago.
So as soon as we come back, we deal with that subject.
Okay, Victor,
thank you very much.
Care.
Very important question. 218-7762. Make your calls. All right, we just lost that one.
Lost that one.
218-7762. You have some time to make your calls, and we will get into the next segment. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Good night.
Hey, boy, we miss you in the garden, boy. No, from the garden there, boy, and what happened, I leave my phone home, but we used to, from 6, we waiting until your program come. You're very educated, sir.
Thank you. We dealing with it.
I must commend you and Mr. Corky and Mr. Jeffrey.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. So I'm going on. I missed your topic because now
we dealing with Akil Chambers, the young guy who that they found, and the evidence show that high-ranking PNM officials was involved in abuse of this young boy. So that's the topic we're dealing on today.
What? Oh my God. Were you already heading, boy?
Well, we done reach already, we ain't heading again, we reach.
Oh God, boys, on no time.
So stay tuned. We're going into the second segment just now, and of course you'll get the opportunity to make your point again, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 218-7762. Lines open.
So what do you think about this thing with Akil Chambers, boy? What do the public think about it? Let me get a nice call here.
Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Roberts, Corky, Jeffries, and everybody else.
Yeah, good evening.
This is
Good evening.
Sada Roti Tomato Choker. I'm talking Christian talk today. Psalms 23, verses 1 to 6. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, my rod and my staff. You hear that? That is prophetic, eh? You're getting the man name right inside there, you know. And let me just tell you, show me your friends and I know who you are. So just find out who your friends are. And you know where you get the answer. Now, the vaccine vagrant, a.k.a. Pimpanian, harping about, they ain't do nothing about this 1997 Sangre report. What have we done with the Clico report? What have we done with it? And to give a man who say he had no resources to use it in the toilet? Why does that man talk and lie so much? I mean to say, Scripture just tell us what he's doing. And you remember the Roman Catholic priest says, Kennedy Surratt saying he had a lot of things, and this country still make him an MP. You remember they get rid of him in the church? I go and have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. 218-7762. Lines are open. Make your calls. We'll close them in a while. Welcome, caller.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Victor Roberts, the Corky, and the Jeffrey.
Yeah, good evening.
Mr. Roberts is a touching, painful situation you have to talk about here. This situation. But we have to do it. Justice has to be prevailed. It is too long now, and too much of people getting anyway this country with this nonsense. I want to say to Jeffrey, I love to listen to the workers' rights. Keep it up. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. 218-7762. Make your calls. We will give you just a few minutes again to get inside, and then we will continue. Welcome, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Hey, Miss Santa Cruz, long time now.
Everybody out here.
Long time not here.
It has been a long time since I've not spoken to you all.
Yes, it is.
I finally got back my landline and cable services 2 days ago.
Beautiful.
Mr. Victor, this nonsense that's going on here, you understand, with Keith Rowley and everybody denying that the report was laid in Parliament.
Yeah.
But you know who is the worst? The Express. To print that nasty editorial about Mrs. Prasad-Bisessa and the rest of them. But I am calling on Mrs. Prasad-Bisessa, Basdeo Pandey, Manohar Ramsaran, and Ram Lawrence Maraj to sue the Express for that article that they wrote there. They fell down on the job. They're looking for a scapegoat now, so they found one. But it doesn't alter the fact that it was laid in Parliament, and the PNM did nothing about it as well.
Correct.
Thanks a lot and have a good evening.
Thank you, Miss Santa Cruz. And I doesn't even talk about that tutu paper, I just call them. That Express, the tutu paper. Take that one.
We have our douglAR report now, you know.
Yeah. Welcome, caller.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yes, good night.
You know what I have to say in this whole system? There's no justice in Trinidad and Tobago. There will never be any justice. PNM is safe. You understand? They have been there for a long time. I don't want to tell you what happened similar to a brother of mine when I was a little boy too. But nothing is going to come out of these things. Trinidad is like this. You understand? It will be so. From now for the next 200-300 years, will be passed away. Thank you and good night.
All right, caller. Well, all right, let's take this one. Welcome, caller.
Well, good night, Mr. Roberts.
Good night, sir.
Yeah. Now, this is a very painful topic. This is a very extremely disgusting matter. But apart from the high-ranking officials who perpetrated this act, 25 years ago, all of the campaign people who used to go about threatening Indian people not to vote for the UNC, to vote for the PNM and threatening them. You feel them didn't know that them is the people that they were supporting, and them is the people they was highlighting, and them is the people they was promoting, and that is the evilness. So 25 years ago, all the activists and them who was PNM, Valizated are dead, and playing and doing and singing, them was involved. That can't hide. But the dirty and the nasty, and some of them suncoats. Good night, sir.
Thank you. Well, it's a very serious situation. One, it's something that continues to happen. But I want to get back to Rowley, You see, Keith Rowley, I want to get back to you here now. So we go hold the phone calls for a little bit. We go open up again just now. But I want to get back to Keith Rowley here. You see, when you as a prime minister of this republic could do all that you did to the children of this nation, I think I understand clearly why you will have a report. You see, this dotishness that you're coming that the UNC didn't do nothing and with the reporter, all that is hogwash, and that is only for those uneducated idiots who doesn't like to read or research, to listen to what you have to say and run with it. But I keep telling you, Keith Rowley, that there is educated people in this country, and there is people that your dotishness cannot penetrate. Because when we look into all the affairs from when Basdio Pandey initiated that task force in 1997, we see coming out of that task force, as I called before, a number of pieces of legislation that came to the parliament and became law in this country to assist in the protection of these children. My question to you, Rowley, is when Patrick Manning took over after Basdio Pandey, because we had that election in 2000 and the PNM, the UNC, come and get 19 seats. And after the collapse with Trevor Sudama, same Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj and Ralph Maharaj, we came and we had another election in 2018, in 2021, and we end up 18-18. And then Robinson took the government and he gave it to Patrick Manning, he said, on spiritual and moral values. I wish Robinson was alive for me to go and ask Robinson now what spiritual and moral values that he could have been speaking about when the people, the high-ranking officials and members of parliament who sits in the cabinet of the then Patrick Manning, who continue to brutalize our children, sexually assault them in this country. I want to know what spiritual and moral value was Robinson speaking of. Added to that, my question to you, Rowley, is what did you and Patrick Manning did with the report when you came into office? That's why I want you to tell me. Tell me what you did. You get a report, the Jones report. You and your minister sit on it for 5-6 months. You ain't do nothing when the report revealed that brutalization was taking place against our future, which is the children of this country. You have the audacity to stand up now and tell us that the UNC didn't do nothing. Boy, Rowley, see how far down in hell you could jump with that dotish talk. You see, you is what you call a strategist. And until the people of this country realize that you're good so as Houdini, you could disguise anything, anyhow you want, but there's only one section of people you could fool. It's only one section of people you could fool. You can't fool us in this country. What you did with this report that you and your minister were saying, tell us. Tell us what you did with it. So when you come and you telling people this great big distraction strategy that you have, that you believe that you could jump up and talk all kind of dotishness. You in office 7 years now. What you do what you did and what you're doing to protect our children. Tell us that. That's what we want to hear. 7 years you're sitting there, come like you're sitting on a hot egg, Keith Rowley, because you is a failure, waste of time. Waste of time. I want to ask Fitzgerald Hines how good a friend he and Ken Valley was. I want to ask Hines that here tonight. How good a friend you and Ken Valley was, Hines. Tell us. Tell us if you were trained by Ken Valley. Tell us if Ken Valley teach you the tactics in terms of running a ministry. Tell us that. That's why I want to ask you. You tell us that, Fitzgerald Hines. Oh, you want to know how I come across by you? You want to know how I come across by you, Hines? Tell Trinidad and Tobago if you and Ken Valley was very, very, very close friends. And if Ken Valley teach you all what you know, because you is an abject failure in any ministry that they put you. Any ministry they put you in. Failure. That is what you are. So let me get back to the topic here now. Take this call. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Victor. El Socorro in the house.
El Socorro, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody else in the studio. So short and sweet. You notice this, right? But remember that little clip with Robert Tapper, right? And the interviewer, the young lady asked Robert, had this anything to do with the UNC? And he said, well, categorically, no. No, 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 no. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, Victor, but like with everything else, all the 3 newspapers, right? All mass media, all radio stations, every man jack, trying to find some way to bring the UNC into this. Do you believe that, Victor? They're finding some way to say, oh, well, the UNC in that too, you know. Even in the front page of the Stats newspaper say, listen, not in the UNC. Everybody keeps saying, finding some way to blame the UNC for all this pedophile tactics and all these matters going on in these children's homes. Everybody finding some way to say, oh, well, yeah, it's PNM, but yeah, tell me with the other side, tell me with the other side. Victor, these people crazy, these people sick. They're finding some way to wash them out on the UNC and blame it on them and try to drag them down in the mud for PNM and PNM only.
Brother,
Yeah.
This is a clear-cut PNM brutalization. Let me tell you something. Nowhere in history you will find any member of the UNC abusing any boy, any girl. You hear what I just said? Nowhere in the history of the UNC you will find any member abusing any boy or any member abusing any girl. This is ring-dong brutalization for years in the PNM. We know it, we understand it, we have seen it, and I want to talk about the cover-up in a little bit.
Yeah, so it's no longer People's National Movement. It is the pedophile national movement.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you, Esiko. That is what it always was. Always. Welcome, caller.
Hi, Mr. Roberts. Good night to you
Yes,
and Jeffrey.
sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Can the bunks here this time? You saw I got some blaming the UNC for everything. That's the mantra.
Yeah.
For the past 7 years, Kamala this, UNC this, blah, blah, blah. For the bunks here, going back to Panday time.
Well, you see, and he really bunks here because when you go back to Panday, ask Rowley who introduced this task force. Who brought about this task force?
But here this, so you know, can't say no because they can't come out of that.
How they will come out of that? How they will come out of that? Rowley himself has some question to answer.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because I keep hearing this talking about some school child. I keep hearing. So he had a clear name too.
And watch me. Once this is kept on the front burner, them can't get away.
Well, this can't go on no burner. This on the whole stove.
Right? And the whole world know about this. The whole everybody, you know.
But you see, I want to go to the... Thank you, caller. We will talk further a little later on. Feel free to call back. You see, let me take this call. Take this call. Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir. Good day.
How can the children, let's focus on the children who are being abused. How can they rely on anything that this government put in place claiming to assist them or alleviate the plight? Immediately, national security should have taken every single woman police who is not under any suspicion and put them to work in the children's home. They should have gone into the Coast Guard and taken every single female military officer in the Coast Guard and the Army who is of good repute, who has no pending problems, disciplinary or otherwise, and place them immediately in the home. And place every single person in those affected homes working there under some kind of arrest, under some kind of charge. Put them, separate them and put them, let it talk. They go talk. Make deals, because it's the only way. Make deals. Save one to kill 10, but make deals. Let it talk. Let it come out and talk. And the children who know adults and were abused, let it come forward and let it point out the criminals. Let it go. Let it deal with it. This thing hard, you know. And as a final gift to the nation, the pedophile national movement should be deregistered and removed as a political party. Never again the symbol or the name PNM should ever surface in this country.
Kola,
Never.
I have one question for you.
Criminal. Yes, sir.
One question I have for you.
Yes,
and I agree with what you're saying. But when we catch them, where we carrying them to court?
Where we carrying them to court?
Yeah, where?
We have to bring in international jurists.
Kola, you're now going down the correct road.
Because our judiciary...
Oh God, don't say what others do.
Our judiciary cannot be relied upon. You know what I'm saying?
Because some of them write it too. Some of the offenders write in the judiciary too.
I have a good friend, but I can't call.
No, don't call his name. Don't call his name.
I can't call his name. You know.
You get letters if you call his name. You know?
Yeah.
No, because himself in this country is the reason why we so. But I don't think that we could have ever envisaged such things. Rowley should not have been allowed in Guyana or any other country, because that is Likoto Zombie going to interfere with a buck, you know.
Thank you, Kola.
Zombie going to look for a buck.
Thank you, Kola. Your time up. Thanks very much for your comment. Feel free to call back.
You see, with this thing close here tonight, we have to talk about the disclaimer. You know, so
welcome, Kola.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Good night, Miss. Go ahead.
Madras. I'm not from Madras.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
I know. I tend to be long-winded. I just took 2 seconds right there saying that.
Go ahead.
You know, we have to... I've been thinking a lot about the Prime Minister. I think about him a lot. Because I don't understand how a man who was born in Mason Hall... Do you people know Mason Hall? Do you know the history of Mason Hall? That it was a plantation? There was over 100 sugar plantations in Tobago, maybe more, but they had over 100 sugar mills with slaves working that for generations, and they were breeding slaves, buying them from Nevis Island and bringing them here and treating people like animals. And our Prime Minister was born in that history. And he came from a very... I look at him and I see those children who are abused. He is a victim himself. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that he has issues. And when you are in politics and you have commissions and you have all these organizations and you are handed paperwork to do a research or just do an assessment of this area here and tell us what you think. You have to pick your battles. It's called picking your battles. Who are you going to fight with? So when this report came out, was this so important to the government of the day at the time? Was it important back in the 70s, in the 60s, after we got independence in the 70s? Was children important? Because after emancipation of the slaves, folks, that history is erased, you know. We don't have history about after emancipation because a lot of African people who left the slave plantation were struggling. They were broke. They had no money. And you can't look down on them because that's all they knew.
Thank you, Ms. Majas.
All right, thanks.
Welcome, Radio. Right, go ahead, we're here.
All
right, call back caller.
Lower the volume on the radio.
Call back caller. 218-7762. Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, good night, brother. Sorry about that again. I was driving. Yeah, what really happened is What happened to the International Criminal Court in The Hague? Can they do something about it?
Well, I think at this point in time, my brother, what we need to happen in this country is we need to have forensic, we need to have the FBI and other persons in this country. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the police service, this police service that we have now, it is compromised by PNM interference.
Well, you can't rely on that. That is out of the question.
Right. So what we need is outside investigators to come in and do a holistic investigation into these children homes. And you may very well be surprised of the category of persons that will be hauled before the court, my brother. Trust what I'm telling you here today.
Well, I will. That could come as early as Monday morning. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. This is a serious situation. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, let me hear Ella Andel now, boy. I'm missing generation.
But we have time for no song tonight, no? Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night. Good night, everybody.
Yes, sir. Good night. Go ahead.
Yeah, if the time span on those kind of crimes, right, that they could bring it back up, why they can't jam Rowley ass?
And thank you, caller. And that's what I'm saying. We have a parliament here that we could go back, we could bring a piece of legislation, and we could go back to gather whatever evidence needs to be gathered and put the perpetrators before the court. Welcome, caller.
Good night again, Mr. Robert.
Go ahead, Saina.
Listen to me. Everybody know there is a nexus between Christian churches, particularly the Roman Catholic and the PNM. And all you know we're good with it.
Well, I don't want to go there, caller. I don't want to go there with any religious organization in relation to this.
This is where we got the moral and spiritual values. Because of that necklace, and you know it had some behavior right up to all over the world. And it existed here in a situation just like a pedophile culture. So there is nexus. So the man was saying, okay, we go stick with what we know, we go continue it, and he changed our government based on spiritual and moral values. He wanted to continue like that. I go on.
All right, caller.
We're not on this religious thing.
Yeah, at all. Good night, caller.
Good night, guys.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good night.
Quick question. As a matter of law, entities you can't blaspheme or defame a dead man, right?
Well, I feel I know where I want to go, and I don't want to go there because it will have. I don't want to bring the radio station into distribution.
I know.
Right.
But if that point of law is correct, then we have the ability to call a few names. Because Victor, like I was telling a certain person yesterday, the only way this thing going to break, and we're going to start to see the sun appearing from behind the cloud, is when we call names, you know.
Well, I think it could break, and thank you, caller. But I think that this whole thing could break if we have people come in and do the proper investigation. Go ahead. The proper investigation to deal with these issues. This is not a local issue to be handled by our authorities, and I'll tell you why later. Welcome, caller.
Mr. Robert, me again.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I'm saying is that if we have the foreign jurists coming here, we could advise the victim that they could launch civil suit against the estate of the deceased perpetrators as well. They could go after their money, they could go after their property. Don't care to transfer. If you transfer your property, the person who will receive it in receipt of illicit property, you know. And they could do that. They could go after the properties of these deceased perpetrators, these pedophiles, and the living ones. Explain your wealth, people. Explain your wealth. Who little child yourselves? Who? You understand? And they're wondering why we have a crime problem in the country. Why are the youth killing each other? Because they died a long time in the home. They simply didn't bury them.
Thank you, caller.
This is a Holocaust.
Thank you very much, caller. Well, as I'm saying, this is a situation where we need a proper investigation. You see, what happened? What is happening Trinidad and Tobago is that these individuals in high places. Welcome, caller.
Right.
Wild Cascade.
Yes.
Make it
The
quick,
Archbishop
Cascade.
today-
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Yes, the Archbishop today make a statement that he would launch up an investigation into the home. What do you think is the St. Michael home? The St. Michael home is a Catholic thing. So all you saying you want no investigation into that? These people have to be investigated.
Cascade.
Thank you.
Cascade, thank you very much. That Archbishop need to sit down and go behind the cross and pray. That's what he had to do. He have no authority. He has no authority. These is criminal. These is criminal acts. And the Archbishop have no authority to deal with that. What we need in this country, we need people from the outside to come in and do a holistic, a thorough investigation into all these homes where the perpetrators, which is big financiers of the PNM, big policemen, big ministers, big judiciary officers, big lawyers, and whoever else involved to deal with this situation so that the children could get justice in this country. The police service, the PNM police service that we have, and we seen it, you know. We see in the PNM police service, you just go out by the Red House and say, stamp with a placard and say what justice for Akil Chambers, and you go see the PNM police reach.
Good evening, caller.
Right, caller.
Good evening again, Mr. Victor, and to everybody out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Cascade, the St. Michael's Home for Boys, was under the purview of the Anglican board. You understand? Not the Catholic. And I want to tell Jason Gordon and them, Archbishop Gordon and them, instead of all they was using the pulpit as a political platform for the PNM, that is what all they should be doing. Now that the horse has bolted, all they want to close the barn door. Look at how many years ago that report came out with that nun. Why was nothing done about it? And you know what, Mr. Victor, I find, you see, that eulogy that they gave her should be scrapped. Because nothing in that eulogy, it goes everything contrary to what was said in that report about her. A lot of people fell down on the job, and a lot of people need to answer the questions about what it has happened there. You understand? And to the PNM's Women's League, stop making excuses for the high-ranking officials in the PNM who are abusing these children. Thanks a lot.
Victor.
And Miss Santa Cruz, let me tell you something. It's not only the men abusing in the PNM, you know, there's some high-ranking PNM women too, who abusing too, high-ranking. And I just can't call name. But I know them, I know all you, and all you know, I know all you. You understand? This is no game thing. Let me, go ahead, caller. Welcome, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Robert, you made this thing something and going on. Like this is some kind of macabre ritual taking place all the time and still taking place or what?
Worse than that, my brother.
Because, I mean, the amount of people involved in this thing, need to check up on old people home too, eh?
Yes, it's abuse right down. It has some of them getting the heights with old people too as well. Wickedness.
Yes, boy.
Wickedness.
This is some kind of devilish thing taking what's going on here all the time.
Brother, how could you interfere with a little child, boy?
Oh God, boy.
How could you?
We are children, Victor, boy. Eh? Where are the people, boy? Where are these woman people, boy? Where are them organizations who they be crying out all the time with them?
The Jews from the Balize had them quiet, caller.
Oh God, boy, Victor, they keep this thing alive, you know.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Right.
How could you abuse a child, boy? Watch now. I have some children there, and I know, God forbid, my life over. I telling you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, how we could abuse a child?
Madness.
Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Yeah,
Yes, good night.
I agree very much with Ms. Santa Cruz. And you see what the government doing by taking all this money from foreign bodies and balling it at COVID help, right? None of the COVID people ain't getting help. All the poor people, no money and trickling down. We're paying so much taxes in this country already, right? And like nothing affording for the poor man. Ridiculous. Bend them, brother. Bend them.
Thank you, caller.
Victor, let me say something now.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I find some of the callers missing the point in terms of this has nothing to do with any religious organization.
No.
You understand? They're using the religious organization as a mass. You understand? Some of these pedophiles and them join these religions because they know it will have people vulnerable.
They have children there. They're looking for opportunities. They're looking for the prey. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir.
This matter is so vexing that I feel Parliament should change the law to make it mandatory death sentence for interfering with children. Death sentence. Nothing less than a death sentence.
Caller, here was the problem with that. Hold the line
They
one
can't
second.
live.
You know, here the problem with that. Callers, some of the perpetrators is in the judiciary, caller. Some of them right there. So how are you going to get a conviction when these people involved?
Earlier on, the callers talk about having foreign jurists come here, having people from other Caribbean countries, other decent Caribbean countries could come here. People who maybe Miss Neil Motley could recommend. We have these women in the women's arm as well interfering with children. You just also brought that to their attention.
Of course.
And some of them have your hairstyle.
Of course.
Some of them have your hairstyle.
Yes, they had baller than mines.
I know.
Caller, this is a serious thing. This is a serious thing.
No, I'm not laughing.
Yeah, very serious.
I'm not laughing. In our next country, this would have done have a coup, I think, because you have to save the children. We must save the children.
Thank you, caller.
If we don't save the children, we will save.
Thank you very much, sir. And you, watch, let me tell you how I sick, Let me tell you how I'm real upset. This Prime Minister Keith Rowley could bring a whole British team, give them the power, SRP, Kate and the team, to try to investigate, to lock up somebody in the UNC for corruption. After the corruption, the anti-corruption bureau said certain things in relation to that, they pay 40 million US and another 40 million US going. But yet we had the future of this country, our children being raped and buggered and murdered in these homes. And let me tell you how sick this thing is. Let me expose how sick it is. These homes gather a number of individuals from the court. From the court, from the judicial system. So they send them in these homes. And then they will pass at night in conspiracy to the individuals who run these homes and take our children, your daughter, my son, and take them away and brutalize them. Brutalize them.
These nasty, stinking, hardback men.
For
10 minutes pleasure.
Nasty.
These hardback men, boy.
And these men wearing big gongs and all kind of robes and sitting down in places that condemning others when they themselves should be condemned and ought to be condemned for this vicious, brutal, nasty act against our children. Welcome, caller.
Hello, good night.
Yes, sir.
Kiana, you remember the Prime Minister said about the brotherhood of wrongdoers?
Yeah.
And if you go against the brotherhood of wrongdoers, we will murder you politically. Apparently, that have something to deal with the topic what you all are speaking about. So I don't know. Could be that. And then he said that from Misnall to Whitehall, the last man that put out of Parliament. You see what I'm saying? Then our next thing too. Just imagine somebody's a teacher in a school, and as being a teacher in a school, you watch a little child coming school from Form 1 or Standard 1, growing up,
and a teacher have babies and let that teacher have baby with that same child. What about the mothers and apparently we have leaders in the country putting into them kind of business and people supporting that and encouraging that in the country? I don't know, it's a total sick country. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, caller. You make my pause raise with this one, caller. How you could groom it from school and then interfere with it? What kind of evil people is this, boy? What kind of behavior is this?
Hello?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, Brother Vic. Yeah, now, the whole thing is that the head rotten. You
Stinking
understand?
rotten. Stinking rotten.
It rotten, so we are living in a rotten, stinking society. Right? Start from the head. Right? And it approaching the tail, but it's in the head and that area there. That is the problem. And, boy, you have to get rid of these people somehow, you know. One way or the other. Somehow.
Legally, caller. Legally.
You have to vote them out.
Legally. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
caller.
Yeah, okay.
Caller, I can't answer to this somehow, you see. One way or the other, I can't answer to that caller because I know they like a shark waiting on me.
And Victor, you know, when you start to talk thing, you know, people that come out here, you know, for the right thing, you know.
Boy, they like shark waiting, you know.
These hardback men so stink with themselves. They want to continue in this thing. They go look to take out people. Try to take out people that talking out.
But Jeffrey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. Let me take this call first. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night,
good
gentlemen.
evening, caller.
Quickly,
Yeah, quickly.
I'd like you to know, we want justice.
Yes, sir.
Except with Akil Chambers'
Yes,
murder.
sir. Yes, sir.
This man, young boy, is appearing on several occasions. They want justice, we want righteousness, we want peace. I want them in authority to know, don't ever take a bad picture of anybody. And we address that. We right to, and we're going to defend our rights, our freedom, our democracy, and fundamental rights. Tell them we coming. Address Akil Chambers' murder now.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. I just wish, you see, tonight, I had the authority to just call out the whole of Trinidad and Tobago on the streets and demand not only justice, boy, but to demand protection for these children. Demand protection for these children, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Good
caller.
night. Good night, Victor. Good night, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
Good night. Good night.
God have a way of doing his work, and we can intervene. PNM had to come back in power. UNC had to lose for the whole nation and Caribbean and the world to see all rotten the PNM is and what a rotten cult it is. It's a cult of personality. The cult will be dismantled, evil will rise to the surface, and good will prevail. It's all in God's work, it's all in God's time. We pray, we wait, we do the work, we inform, we educate, we call for justice. We don't stand for stupidness, but let God do his work. God has a part to play, we have our part.
Thank you,
Y'all,
caller.
have a good weekend.
Thank you, caller. The cry of the children of this country, the cry in the darkest times. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Victor,
Yes, sir,
and
good
the
evening.
other in the studio there.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, man, Victor, boy, all through the hills and valleys, wherever you go in the Diego Martin hills and valleys, the soul of that poor boy must be, thing there. And, Victor, I understand that he had a meal of parboiled rice before he was singing in the pool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then, thanks.
Wicked, evil men, boy. Wicked, evil men. Welcome, caller.
Mr. Roberts, I'm going to make it just not even a minute, I promise you. You see, when I was saying my last comment, I said you pick your battles. This is the battle. This is our battleground now. It has to be. You know what? This is like throwing children off a slave ship, of taking pregnant women and throwing them off the boat when they come in from India. Many people die on those boats, and children today are now suffering the psychological consequences of what is going on. And this is our battle. If we don't succeed in this battle by having accountability by the leaders and the people who should have had oversight or take action to stop this from decades ago, even to today, we would be in a better position. But they're doing the same plantation mind game with us. And you know something, this is the battleground, Mr. Victor Roberts. This is it. So we're going to make this work, right?
Thank you very much. Jeffrey.
Enough is enough, Victor.
Jeffrey, let me tell you something, boy.
Enough is enough.
What is wrong with this country, boy? What really wrong with this Trinidad? What wrong with you people, boy? What really wrong with all you on the outside there? What all you what kind of brainwash? What wrong with all you? Welcome, caller.
Look.
Yes, sir.
Under Baljo Pandey 24 years ago, Rowley was a part of the opposition. He's supposed to know about these files. Why he can't investigate? Because it is lodged in the parliament. He know about it because Ken Valley was part of the damn nastiness.
Caller.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. The views of the caller is not that of the radio station. This is a disclaimer. The views of the callers is not the views of the radio station. Welcome.
Hello, good night.
Yes, sir.
The PNM, the Prime Minister, launched an investigation with foreigners to come and investigate the matter with the money laundering business. And I believe this one is more serious than the money laundering business. I want to call on the women's arm or the women's lead of the PNM to see if this one more important than the investigation on the money laundering business, what they came with the Susu business, right? And I would like one of the PNM supporters call in and find out if this one more serious than that one. And if this one more serious, then it will be very easy for the Prime Minister to call on the foreigners to investigate that, because the opposition, I don't think the opposition will call on a foreign investigation on this, a foreign criminal investigation on this.
No, they don't have the authority.
They have the authority?
No, they don't. They don't have the authority.
Well, this is what I'm saying, but the PNM, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, have the authority. And if that simple thing that's claiming as money laundering business, to use a foreign thing, this is a more serious thing. So I don't know if somebody could talk about some legal business, and there's so much illegal people in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, caller. Time up.
You know?
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome, caller.
Yes, Silver Fox inside.
Fox, boy, go ahead.
Yes, man. I want to hear when the calling and saying when we hit in the street. I only want to hear when we hit in the street. And Victor, I'm going to leave you with a song, an old song from years ago. Right? I listened to it properly, eh? I went to a dance and I take off my pants. Archie broke them up. Police locked them up. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Now, we gotta get serious here, Victor.
But this is a serious thing.
How much are these people willing to take, boy?
Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon again, Victor, Jeffrey. Right. Listen to me. I have our own personal view why this 1997 report probably was not on the radar. During that time, everybody was glued to Dole Chedi case and the potential consequence of that case. And I believe that might have overtaken everybody when they prepared to hang 9 of them in one go. Now, the other issue is that the Women's League, why don't they follow suit and play Trump and do an internal investigation to see if that pedophilic culture exists, was in, or has been removed from the Barizio Juice Party, just as what the church is? And the church doing an internal investigation to see if it, what and when and how it happened? The Balized people should be doing that too. They only acting all kind of thing. Check your house first before you comment about outside. I got.
Thank you, caller. You see, I don't know how people thinking, Jeffrey. Go ahead. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, me again, Victor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with all the ills that going on in society in Trinidad, all the corruption, all the bid-rigging and things, and it seems like the PNM is a law unto itself that, no one could touch them, But, Victor, I want to ask you a question. And hear me good, and you have said you will understand what I'm coming to say. All I just say, is it kangaroo justice? I think kangaroo, like kangaroo from Australia. Kangaroo justice. You remember what Silver Fox didn't say about Archie? Link it now. Okay. Right.
Thank you, caller. I want to really welcome, caller.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good day, sir.
To everyone. I just want to make a quick comment here on this whole situation. This thing, it's what is shameful about this whole matter is that you have the taxpayers have to pay these people. They're living off of the population. They live in the high life, those maniacs, and then we, the taxpayers, have to pay them for the high life, and they're going in the people place and doing this kind of thing to the children.
So true.
They, long after them leave us, we still have to mind them. I think we have to do something about that, When you finish your work, you get paid and you go.
Get rid of them.
Clean one time.
Thank you very much.
This is the high class nastiness, man.
Yeah, this is a very important point you made there, caller.
And the whole state responsible, from captain to cook, woman, all of them, everybody's starting to cover up now. That is the problem I have with this thing.
That is the problem. Thank you, caller. And that is what we had to talk about, You see the cover up? And that is why I'm saying that we need outside investigators to deal with this. People who doesn't support the UNC and people who doesn't support the PNM. People who will support the children. That is what we need. People who will support the children. Because you see, I want to tell you something, Jeffrey. In this country, I hear people ask questions if the list was sanitized, if this and that. Now, you know how I does operate. I like facts. I doesn't like to just talk. I like facts. If I don't have facts, I'm not commenting on something. The point I'm making is this. We have to put together a protection for the children.
Yeah.
And we cannot do that by even implementing our authorities to protect these children, because who know how far and to the extent of the spread of those pedophiles? Who knows? Welcome, caller.
A quick one again thing. They just come across my mind. Akil Chambers and the school the boy was going to, I think it's a black man's school, a kind of prestige private school, right? And I don't believe, and I don't want to be offensive, but somebody has to be paying for that boy to go to that school. I wonder where that money coming from. I go and have a nice day.
And caller, all these questions, but the fact remains is Akil Chambers is dead. Where is the justice for Akil Chambers? Where is the justice for those children who continue to be brutalized under this administration, even by some of the high-ranking officials who sit within this organization? Now we take this call before we go for the break. Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller.
You know what? I'm going to make it real quick before you go on the break. You're right about Akil Chambers. He's dead. But we had so many girls who were brutalized in the heights of a rape recently of a young 21-year-old girl, And we don't hear nothing from any leaders about the crime against women and children.
That is not true, caller. That is not true. The UNC, the Women's Arm, the members...
No, I'm not talking about you. I mean from the government. I didn't mean the opposition.
Make it clear.
I'm not talking about the opposition here. I'm talking about government.
Right.
Usually when I talk about the opposition, I will say the opposition.
All right, go ahead.
Right. So you haven't heard anything from anyone, not even yet. The powerful women of Port of Spain, right? The most powerful women, they and they're powerful. What have they done for poor women in this country? Nothing. And you know, Mr. Roberts, when I said the battle is on, right? It's not just about the children's home. It's about the way the whole state of our nation and the whole standard of our living and the quality of our life. Look at the schools. Look at, you know, this country has failed us left and right, and the jet setting all over the place. So we need to stop this. And I tell you something, I want Gary Griffith to speak up about this. I want to hear more about what Gary has to say. I'm being honest. If he's running for parliament, we need to, for prime minister, he needs to chime in and make a comment now. Right? Don't you think so?
We're going for the break now, caller.
Okay.
Thank you.
New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
New 97.5 FM, hot like pepper, multicultural radio.
Power to the listeners.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Farbinge Expo at the White Tent opposite Medford gas station, Shogunas, will be closing on Monday, May 23rd. Check out our unique bridal collection or even dresses to attend the wedding, handicrafts, footwear, jewelry, furniture, and so much more. All in one store. Perfect place for Mother's Day shopping and outing. Enjoy delicious authentic Indian food at Tandoori King, Star Haka, and Dosa Diner. Newly opened Bombay Chaat, Pani Puri, and lots more. Farbinge Expo opposite the Medford gas station, Shogunas. Check us out. We're open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
La Penca
and Bees Hi-Fi presents Return to Real Rock Sunday, 22nd May, time 5 p.m. Featuring the Anarchists, Code Black, and Life Force together with Bees Hi-Fi. We gonna rock. Come on down to La Penca, Sunday, May 22nd, 5 p.m. Tickets only $50. For tickets, please call Bees 779-1663, Code Black 359-1843, Anarchist 385-4315, or La Penca 373-3453. Return to Real Rock.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
forgotten people. Hear our cry. With dented pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, sitting here and I wonder in my mind just, I choose to play that song at this point in time for more than one reason. And, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, you know, why would the Prime Minister not utilize the report that came on his desk some 6 months ago? But in order to get some justification for his failure, we'll go and back to 1997 to tell you that the UNC did nothing with the report. Trying to intricate within your mind that, look, it is the UNC fault. But let's just say for 1 second, let's just say for 1 minute that the UNC took that report and pelted it in the river. Let's just say that for 1 minute. What would you say to the Prime Minister for 7 years and who had a report for over 6 months, sitting in his desk, sitting idly by, while the brutal acts, while the brutalization of our children continue, while he have that report sitting there saying nothing, doing nothing, children being raped, children being buggered, children being destroyed, the lives of the minds of these children gone forever, big men and big women invading the innocence of these children, brutalizing them in the worst manner ever, brutalizing them in ways that grown adults will not even dare to entertain. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, by the caregivers, those who should be protectors of these children, those who receive a salary, in their hand to ensure the safety of these children, the magistrates and the judges that send these children to these homes, some may be honest, but yet some with an intention, watching and eye-picking the ones that they consider to be their prey, sending them to the homes that they know that they will have easy access to, removing our children in the wee hours of the night, destroying their future, and yet delivering back there to the homes where the caregiver will pretend as though nothing happened for a few dollars more. What kind of society are we living in? And yet the people of this country will not stand up and cry out against this injustice, this gruesome act against these children who have no guardian, these children who have no strength, these children who cannot defend their innocence. What kind of a people are we in this country that we will sit and let this pass and not bring this government down for the brutalism of our children in this country? Welcome, caller. Lost that one. What kind of people are we? Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir, good night. Yes, sir, go ahead. Hello? Hello? Have we lost? Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I think we need also to write to the Pope in Rome, advising him of the behavior of the people
running the Catholic system in this country and alert him immediately so that he can't say he didn't know, and they put aside some funds to make some repatriation towards these people and to try to assist how they can. I don't know how. Remove them. Our Church of Sailors, they're very political. And the concerning thing is that during the previous election, this information pertaining to the leader of the party was raised about some girl in Tobago, and the people still voted for that. And I want to know if the people in the upcoming local elections will continue to vote for that. This is my concern, because if the people support it, then it becomes part of our culture, Steel band, like the Calypso. If the people supporting it, what kind of people do we have in Trinidad? We need to take stock of this. It's crazy.
Thank you, caller. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Go ahead. Welcome, caller.
Fine. Quickly answer everybody. Everybody in the country makes statement that Black Lives Matter. I am not disappointed with that. But what I want to know, doesn't Akil Chambers, 11-year-old Akil Chambers, a young black boy, does his life matter too? We rise to the occasion and we make sure we get proper justice and representation. This boy life, little boy life, matters just like everybody else.
Yes, caller.
And it was swept away by perpetrators in sexual misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Well said, well said, well said. Welcome, caller.
Hello, good night, Victor.
Yes, sir, good night.
I wonder these people who doing this thing, how them they sleep in the night? I wonder if they could see the face of God. But look, I have some grandchildren small, and a man do that on my child, I kill him. So help me God. I don't care where I gone or whatever, I'll kill him. Imagine that, man, the people are turning out seeing that, and they you mean to say them supporting that?
Caller, this is what I'm trying to understand here.
Yeah.
I ain't hearing no. Thank you, caller. I ain't hearing no outcry from the communities. I ain't hearing no outcry from the constituencies. All I hearing is this baby crying here now. Let it cry. Let me see if we could touch the heart of them with this. Let the baby cry. Let the baby cry.
Madness out here. Madness outside here.
People, come on in this country. Come on. This is enough for this government to go. This is enough. We have to protect our children. The children is the future of this country. If you so love PNM, how come you doesn't love your children first? How come you doesn't protect your children first from these perpetrators? We have the information. We have the evidence. We have the facts. We know what is happening. This has been happening for years. How many children disappear and will never be found? How many children, how many mothers will continue to cry, and yet to the end of the day, the people in this country will sit down and remain quiet while we have government officials. They brutalize us. Now they're brutalizing and raping and killing and sexually assaulting our children, and all you still quiet? All you ain't riot yet?
The children crying out, boy.
Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Victor.
Yes, sir. Good night, good night, good night.
Yes, Mr. Victor, you could recall some time ago these boys run away from that home there and
yes.
Police. Yes, and I was wondering why, what caused that, you know?
I think Senator David Nackett wrote the DPP in relation to something with that.
Right, I wondered, you know, God said, come on, for the children to come unto me, but forbid them for something the kingdom of heaven. And you imagine these people, God, man, they're sick to the core. Yeah, they're sick to the core.
Thank you,
and you know, listen only here tonight, they bring water in my eyes as a father. Yeah.
Oh, it's sad, it's sad, it's sad.
It's sad, it's real sad.
Thank you, caller.
Yes, thanks.
You could imagine how these children was crying out, Victor. You could imagine how these children was bawling in pain. Where we going with in this country, boy? Where we going with this? If we can't stand up for the children and them that we make, but what go happen to we again? Now it's time for it to stand up.
Jeffrey, you know I can't understand, boy. Some of these people still defending Keith Rowley and the PNM, boy. Still defending Keith Rowley and the PNM, Jeffrey. What kind of animal society have we become, boy? What? Welcome, caller.
Yes, good afternoon. It's me again. Something I just want to comment on. One of the things you talk about is I have not seen a total condemnation of this behavior by the churches.
No, sir.
This is not about a man do something, you know. This is the state is involved in a criminal act. Members of the state. You know, these are the people who ruling us. You
Who making laws for us, scholar?
You know? Yeah, it's the churches. So all of them take money the last time they can have money for COVID.
Oh,
you
Lord.
Know? You understand? So everybody quiet now. This is the disgust and the country run by a group of sodomites. You understand? And we will have a price to pay for this if them fellas are going, you know. I believe going fire and by ballots now, eh? Have a good evening.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Caller, you're so right. You're not hearing the voice of the churches. You're not hearing the churches condemning these brutal sexual acts against our children. Against our children. I mean, what these men and them want. Whatever a man choose to do with his life, he do. But we have to protect the children of this country, boy. We cannot allow our children to be vulnerable and to be brutalized by men, whether it be by prime minister. When you hear stories of a prime minister with a girl of school age, even while he was a teacher, that should tell you something, boy. That should tell you something. The one that you're supposed to protect is the one that you are hurting. These children, they are children. Jeffrey said it. You could imagine the agony that these children going through. The lives of these children. It is destroyed by hardback, wicked, evil, nasty politicians who make laws to govern the same children, who make laws to put the same children in prison when they commit an act. And these same lawmakers continue to break the laws. We have seen it with Faris. We have seen it with all of these politicians. We charging people for not wearing masks. But yet, even though he make the law, we have a vehicle that still hook up in the balance without being transferred. And we have a police service here. The top executives of the police service, who is more PNM than being independent, who is more PNM, who locking up people, who bringing people to court. We have the judges, we have the magistrates, who sending people to jail, and yet what they are doing is worse than going to prison. According to one caller, they should be put to death for the brutalization of the nation children. And we have a prime minister who will sit there and open his mouth and go back and talk about Pandey and the UNC. You rule in this country for 7 years. And all we have seen is pain and destruction by your hands over this past 7 years. We have seen the country come to the brink, come to the point where it seems as though that there is no future for the younger generation. You have taken away every aspect of growth, every aspect of sustenance, every aspect of development for the young people in this country. You have destroyed the future of this country. That is what you have done, Prime Minister. You should be ashamed to stand up by laptops in any office. If God was like man, those laptops catch a fire and consume you. The kind of evil that this Prime Minister has brought upon this land, I am telling you that no amount of holy water, no amount of holy water will ever help this country to recover from the brutality by this government. When we entrusted politicians to look after us in our country, and these politicians could disrespect, could rape, could sodomize, and kill our children, what does that tell you? In any other country, ladies and gentlemen, in any other country, this whole PNM government would have been under arrest. Those members who participate in those sexual wickedness within the judiciary, they would have been in prison. Prison. But yet we as a people, we come worse. We come worse than the man who turned his back on his family. We have become a nation with heartless people. It seems as though that we now find pleasure in wickedness. It seems as though that we will give up the right of our children and the vulnerability to the PNM. It seems as though we will invite the PNM high officials even to our homes while we sit and watch the brutalization of our children. That is what it seems as though. You cannot tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, that you as a society who speaks of being God-fearing, a society who speaks about spirituality, a society who speaks about moral values, and yet to the end of the day, you will sit idly by and see judges, magistrates, prime ministers, ministers of government sexually abuse our children, and you will sit there and say nothing. You will sit there as though it never happened. We have seen, we have heard, we understand that the DNA testing tell us that Akil Chambers was interfered with, and not only by a common man, but those in high office. And yet I will hear someone saying, but in those days we never had DNA. You see the length and breadth that these people will go to encourage and to support wickedness, to support immorality, to support a government that is immoral in every aspect. This is where we will go as a people. I am saying that we better pray that the Creator doesn't turn his back upon us as a country, because we continue to support the wicked ideology of a PNM government simply because we consider them to be the color of our own self. That is the epitome of wickedness. The epitome. That is where we are, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Where we will go again. What would we support again? It is only a matter of time before these officials come into our houses and guts us in front of our children, and yet still some of you will support that.
Yeah.
They will brutalize your children in front of you, and you will support that. Look at what they have done to you from 2015 to now. Look at it. Welcome, caller.
Hello. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Good night, caller.
Yeah. Really like the wine on young girls and thing, you know. You understand? You haven't Carnival and Tobago, so you're gonna. Why do you haven't Carnival and Tobago? It's a wine and a little young girl, 17-year-old and all kind of thing. A big old man like that.
Thank you, caller. I don't know where we going, people. How come this country is not crying out? How come all they're not crying out, boy? What is wrong with you? Welcome, caller.
Victor?
Yes, sir.
I want to know, right? Well, that's happening in the PNM party, right? So those women in the PNM party don't have children? Them know that's nonsense going on and them are speaking. So which means them they could happen to them children too and they could like the fun.
Well, who knows? So much of them don't sell the children. Who knows?
I'm telling you, them women worse than the men.
Any woman who will speak out against this behavior, there is worse than the devil.
I'm telling you, boy. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Any woman who bring a child in this world and cry out
on this,
I am telling you, you was not fit to be a mother. You wasn't fit to be a mother if you speak out and cry out against this type of brutalization. Then something wrong with you. Something had to be wrong with you.
All mothers supposed to feel this.
But they must feel it
in the belly, because they know them bring children in the world and we know how it does taken and we don't really love them. But them know how it does feel, boy.
Brother,
them know how it does feel.
Victor Alexander Roberts, have a limit. There is things that I do participate in. There is things that I do not entertain. All right? I am saying, Jeffrey, that if, you see, before I go there, this is a dread sickness in the mind, in the brain, you know. This is a sickness. I often try to figure out in my own mind. Sometimes I'm talking to my wife and we talking and I would ask, I would say, baby, you know, I can't even imagine raping a woman. I say, how could you do the things that you had to do, Jeffrey? You know what I'm talking about? And this woman trying to get an opportunity to choke out your two eyes out your head. Trying to get an opportunity to get anything to wound you, to escape from this. In other words, she at a point that she will do anything, including killing you, to escape. But yet still, you still aroused and you still ready to go. Boy, all you have to be sick. All you have to be sick. Jeffrey, my years are going up and I'm ashamed to tell all of this. Jeffrey, my years are going up.
Yeah.
I went to a guest house already. And the individual, when we done pay and going upstairs, saying, you know, I ain't feeling for this, to do this again. Jeffrey, you know what Victor Roberts do? I say, well, let's go. I don't care who think what or who feel what. I said, let's move. She said, well, you know what, on second thought, we done reach here already. I said, miss, let's go or I'll wait for you downstairs in the vehicle, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, I'll wait for you downstairs. Some of my partners tell me, boy, you are a madman. I don't pay my money for room and this already. You are a madman. You're an idiot. Me, Jeffrey, not Victor Robertson. My father always tell me, no is no.
Yeah.
You can't tell me no and change your mind with certain things, you know. I could ask you, Jeffrey, give me 100 and you tell me no. And then you change your mind and you say, boy, look, the 100. I take it, Jeffrey. You could change your mind with that.
Yeah, you could change your mind.
Yes, you could change your mind.
You're taking that.
But in my days alignment, I'm not going nowhere with any woman. And she say no. And I talking about, I don't buy things to eat. I don't buy things to drink. I don't spend my money. Not Victor Roberts. Not me, son. So that is just to tell you, Jeffrey, how could a man take up a little 11-year-old boy and have his way with that child? Have his way with that child down to death. And everybody keep it quiet. I want to know who did the autopsy. I want to know the police and them who did that report. I want to know what was the pathologist's findings. I want to know why 24 years Monday coming and no justice for this youth man, while one of the perpetrator, the wicked nasty dog, still up and around. And who knows if that wicked nasty dog collecting taxpayers' money. Who knows? I don't know. I ask it. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows, Jeffrey? I could tell you who knows. The PNM knows. The PNM knows.
This thing, it crossed the line.
Jeffrey.
All boundary, all
Jeffrey, this ain't only cross the line, you know. It crossed the thoughts. You are speaking about individuals in high positions. Individuals who is in charge of this country we call Trinidad. Jeffrey, this thing is bigger. Akil Chambers is well known. It is public domain. Jeffrey, what about the secrets that is hiding in those homes that we don't know about, where these mothers who live in poverty and those workers in those homes who continue to be enriched because of these well educated, well highfalutin individuals will come and make the arrangement, and they will pay their money for their prey and take one of these or two of these children from these homes while people benefit financially, and these children go through agony and pain that we could not even imagine. Don't mind how deep we think about it. We could never understand what those children are still going through in this country, because the ring is there. The ring is there. And this is no ring for no finger, you know. This is a ring of sick individuals, powerful people, businessmen, government officials, judiciary officials, top people in every form. I remember I had a partner that I met after he come out of jail. And that partner shared some things with me, Jeffrey.
That take place in the jail?
That take place, that I cannot betray his trust. But share some things with me. With top officials in the prison. Top officials. So this thing is no nowadays thing. And this thing is no low level thing. This thing is high up. High up, Jeffrey. As high as you could think. Jeffrey, there is some women in big positions in this country. Big position. No husband. Big, large, huge, right up position. No husband. All right. All right. You know our husband. Nothing wrong. But we know, Jeffrey, we know.
The people know.
The people know.
And here what does stick them with now? They ain't have proof.
And you know what make it sad? We want some nice young maids to come and work. We don't want no mature people. We want young, single people to come to work for us. And we know. And if you don't believe me, ask the black coffin all where it went. All you feel this thing easy in this country. All you feel this thing easy in this country. All you sit down there and play dumb, blind, deaf and dotish. Stay there and play dumb, deaf, blind and dotish. Stay there and see what you're going to end up. I tell all the other day, it ain't long before all they had to sit down and send all the children into the prostitution ring for all they to eat when this government finish with all you. Listen what I'm saying, you know. It ain't long again before all you, Jeffrey, I say it about 5 times. I stop by Royal Castle in DB a day. A man come up with some CDs and he telling me you could get 2, you could buy 1. You understand? I say what? He tell me real nice. I say, what songs is that on it? He say, boy, not songs, nice young girls. You understand? Performing. And he telling me 13, 14 years. Performing. You hear what I'm telling you?
And he say they're getting paid.
And they're getting paid to do it. They're getting paid to do it, Jeffrey. Money running to do it. That is what poverty does. When you hear a government could take away your employment, they make you vulnerable for every offender, every sex offender. They make you vulnerable for that animal to get hold of you. Jeffrey, in the schools, you're paying $10 for a kiss, 20 for a touch. All this thing is what happening. While this minister held gaspy Bubba Dolly, who probably spending too much time to educate she ministerial colleagues in whatever way. Right? I don't know if it's maths, if it's chemistry, or human and social biology, or what she educating she colleagues and them in. But while she's spending time there, this is what happening in the school. Marijuana selling in the school. Everything happening in the school. And the bubble that she living in, she and the newspaper say it ain't happening. You understand? The newspaper say no drugs ain't selling in school. You understand? She and the PNM newspapers. And this is where we at. This is what is happening, people. People, you are allowing yourself to come to the point where the wrong, and since they are telling you that, Jeffrey, I said, Jeffrey, watch this country. The wrong and the lies become as right and truth, and the lies and the wrong and the good come as evil.
Yeah.
The good deeds that you will do in this country now come as evil. Jeffrey, I see a man stop for a old lady to cross in Sipara the other day. And next man coming down the road and cussing the man and telling the man, boy, a busy boy.
What are you stopping for?
Yeah, let Granny know she had to send somebody else in the shop when she coming out here for. She could hardly walk. That is how the thing get in. People have no mercy. They have no compassion. That is where we are. And we getting worse. Today I see a man going to get gas in the gas station. And 2 of them rush one another for the pump. None of them can get gas. 2 of them fly out the car. The pump attendant come out and say, well, one person had to go. They start to cuss the pump attendant. That is where we reach. That is what we condone. We condoning and supporting a prime minister in this country who have no moral value. A prime minister who have no spiritual value. And we could prove it. Because when you hear a prime minister could stand up and say, remember the last man put me out of parliament? What happened to him?
Yeah.
I live in close to Lekito. The last man who put me out regretted it. That is what the man say. This prime minister rejoice on every form of evil. If a prime minister could have a report sitting on his desk with brutalization of children for 6 months and say nothing about it until a whistleblower blow a whistle, what does that tell you? What does that tell you, Trinidad and Tobago? That in telling you something, people. That in telling you the Prime Minister of this country have a report with abuse and rape and sodomization of our children. For 6 months he have the report there and do nothing about it. And when they corner him and question him, he gone back to tell you that in 1997 UNC ain't do nothing with a report, which is again a blatant lie. It show you everything after past the Pande Task Force, what happens in relation to the going forward in the protection of children. It tells you the acts are there. I called them out for you earlier on. It is there. Kamla Prasad Bisesa came in out of that. What we have the Child Protection Unit. We have that unit that crying out saying that it's underfunded. That unit that is saying that is understaffed. What Keith Rowley doing to staff that unit? He's starving it instead. To staff that unit and to give that unit the funding it needs to protect our children. It is not forthcoming. But yet, he would not explain to you why he did nothing with a report for 6 months. But he'll go back to tell you about what the UNC did with the task force report, which is a blatant lie. And you people support that. So here what you say now, the UNC to blame too. You see how dotish and bankrupt all is? You see how all you can see nothing more than the hardness in all your hair? All you can see nothing more than the hard hair that all you have on all your head. Nothing more all you can see about that. Because everything, that is what all you're using. It have to be some kind of race coming in everything to protect your children, to protect your future, it has to be race. The Indian them do it too. The Indian them do nothing. So they go share and tell them, boy, hear what you tell them now. All you condemn the African people, but what the Indian do with the task force report? First they have no knowledge. First they like idiotism. First they like old talk. You understand? First they like that. That is what they tell me. You understand? And this is where we go in. So therefore we have 10 minutes. Let me open up the phone lines a little bit again. Call in. So the number is 218-7762. You'll open up the lines. We have 10 minutes. You can make your call and make your contribution at this point in time.
Tell me all I think about what taking place there.
218-7762. But this is where we reach. Everything had to be a political game. Everything had to be a game. I saw Jeffrey, somebody post something on our group I want. And here what the person say, boy, we fed up our politics. We want no politics in this group. I fed up. I don't want to hear nothing more politics. I say, well, boy, why he doesn't turn off the radio and turn off the TV and think when Rowley come on it? They want to hear nothing more politics every minute. What the Prime Minister say? But they want to hear nothing more politics, you know. The thing that govern them, the thing that rule them, they want to hear nothing about it. But all of a sudden, they're asking what he say and what he ain't say. Trinidad, come on, let's get up. Wake up. Wake up in this country. Wake up. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, man. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Listen, one of the reasons why Rowley have that thing on his desk 6 years, 6 months.
6 months,
Right? 6 months. Is because he want to have the people on them under his thumb. So however he pull the string, they go jump, they go vote, they go do everything for him. Because that's the kind of nasty man he is. Thanks.
Thank you, caller. And let me tell you the detriment to that, Jeffrey. When you have these people in strategic places, welcome, caller.
Very quickly, tell this man he have cocoa in the sun and he cannot determine how the weather will be or change. And we are the cocoa also, and we show him the kind of cocoa drink we will make with him. Tell him to go. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Welcome, caller.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert and Mr. Jeffrey.
Yes, good night.
This country is in a deep rabbit hole. This is what we know.
Yeah.
When you hear country where you have high government officials
interfering and preying on young children. And you know what is the dreadful thing about this? There's a lot of wicked people in this country too, you know, and ungrateful people, you know.
Yeah.
You is telling me the evidence is plain. One of them died already, who was preying on a young boy, killing me the most brutal ways. What about that boy's mother? What about that boy's father? How are these parents feeling when they hear everything coming out now? And what is even more deadly is have a next predator who was the partner, the other one who dead, still alive and around and holding high position.
Yes, sir.
This is a frightening thing. This is a frightening thing. How could you cover up something like that? This is why we're in this position now. So all the other things they see come up from the last 5 months now, it's only people now as being here tonight, right now at this time, trying to see how they could cover, how they could dance, how they could do this something. But it will not make the country a better place.
Correct.
We will be going down in a deep hole. This had nothing to do with PNM or no UNC. This has to do about morality in the proper place and doing things in the proper way.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very
gosh,
much,
boy.
caller. Thank you very much. That is the reality, Jeffrey. That is the reality. When you are these people in strategic places, Jeffrey, how could you bring any form of claim or any form of prosecution against a government when the key players in this government have people in positions to rule in their favor in any way possible? Welcome, caller.
Hi, Mr. Robert.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, the Profundo scandal in England. I know if you're aware of that. And them fellas were just having a good time with the women, eh? Christine Keeler. And that brings down the government, the Macmillan government in the 1960s. And look at this nasty thing going on here. This government supposed to fall already.
And brother, them was having fun with big women, eh? This
big women,
government
Christine
official
Keeler,
having
nice
fun
woman.
with children.
And a Jamaican bloody whistle.
This government having fun with children.
But this is what I'm saying, boy. Just thought of that could make you puke, eh? And you see where I said it tonight with the old lady crossing the road?
Yeah.
Boy, I live on the eastern main road, as I tell you. The speed limit on this road is 30 miles per hour. They have a sign up it up no way, and fellas doing 75, 80 miles per hour, you know. But I coming on the road, anybody driving behind me. And they tell me, drive your car and you take them on, you know.
Yeah.
I just waited for them to come out when I park to play the ball. Believe you me, you will find what get what they're looking for. And you see the other thing we are talking about, with you and the girl in the guest house,
yeah.
That them already. I just get told off already. For me, time I get told off, I can't make.
Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye. I gone.
All right.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, caller.
Jeffrey, that is it.
Bye-bye.
No is no.
No is no.
Yeah. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, just one more thing very quickly, 20 seconds. They deprive the young men that the Chief Justice recommended to the Prime Minister, that the Prime Minister gave set up the approval quickly because the Prime Minister knew them too. Very close contact. I thank you.
218-7762, or you make your contribution, or you have 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Make your contribution.
Well, let me make mine now. The views of the caller is not that of the radio station. Welcome, caller.
Hey, welcome, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. Coffee.
Right, sir.
Bye. Let me tell you something. I want to draw something here. You know the people of them who from St. Vincent, with the ship, the sub? What the young in the coffee?
Right.
Good. Do you know, well, I work in offshore, let me tell you something. Do you know he was delinquency on the our Coast Guard? I mean, that's a sad situation. Let me tell you something, that thing sinks twice, you know.
Wow.
When they brought it back to Shagaramas where they dug the, like the garbage, right? It sink again. Watch me. I don't know. Better could have been done.
My brother, this is a real 2x4 country, but thanks very much for your call. This is a real 2x4 country, yes? Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir, good night.
You know, if one look at the things that the PNM government took away that the People's Partnership under Kamala Prasad put in place, the children rights funds, we're talking about the milk grants, the money for the single mothers, disability for children, every single thing, every single thing that was put in place to benefit children, they actually took it away. If the school feeding program was downgraded, everything for children was taken away. So not only were they abusing the children in the homes, they were abusing the children generally. So in other words, they took away the laptop and hide the information, hide
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir, good night. You might be the last call because our time is almost out.
I appreciate that, Glass.
Yeah.
I appreciate your contribution on the radio tonight. I always listen to you. I met you personally at Eco Park a couple of weeks gone by.
All right, thank you.
I will introduce myself to you tomorrow in Cuba.
All right, no problem.
Hey, have a pleasant night, sir.
All right, thank you for the call, and you was the last call. God bless. We out of here. Disclaimer, please.
The views and opinions expressed on this program is not necessarily the views of U97.5, Hot Like Pepper.
Time has